Welcome to the deep dive.
Hey there.
Today we're really getting into some source material you sent over, Chapter 4 of the NY DMV Driver's Manual. It's all about traffic control.
Yeah, the real nuts and bolts of driving communication. Signs, signals, markings.
Exactly. It's like the fundamental language of the road, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got the signs, the lights, those lines painted everywhere, even, people directing traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So, our mission today, cut through the jargon, find the absolute must-know stuff, and maybe uncover some details in this chapter so you feel totally solid on what the road's telling you.
Sounds good. Where do we start? Signs.
Yeah, let's start decoding with signs. They're probably the most obvious layer, right? Maybe the oldest. We all know what a sign looks like, but what's the manual emphasize about how they actually work?
Well, it boils down to communication. That's what the chapter stresses.
Huh.
These signs aren't just roadside clutter. They're giving you rules, warnings about hazards, telling you where you are, directions, what services are nearby. And the crucial thing the manual points out, shape and color. They're your first hint. Like, before you even read the words, you're getting a clue about what kind of information is coming up.
That's such a smart system, that visual shorthand. Your brain's already categorizing, oh, this is a rule, or watch out, or just info before you even process the text.
Exactly.
So based on that color and shape system, what are the main categories Chapter 4 lays out?
Okay, so the manual breaks it down pretty clearly. First up, you've got regulation signs. These basically tell you what you must do or must not do.
The rules.
The rules. The standard look is often that white rectangle with black letters. But, and the chapter notes this, sometimes they use red letters or symbols or even different shapes for specific rules. So, gotta pay attention.
Okay, so white rectangle usually means rule incoming. What about the signs giving you a heads up about something?
Ah, those are your warning signs. The manual says these are typically yellow and diamond-shaped with black letters or symbols.
The classic diamond. Yep. They're alerting you to potential hazards or, changes in the road ahead, curves, intersections coming up, maybe deer crossing, that sort of thing.
Right. Yellow diamond equals pay attention, something's different.
Okay. Then they're the ones pointing you towards places.
Your destination signs, those are usually pretty straightforward green signs, white letters, showing you the way and how far to towns, cities, exits, essential for navigation.
Makes sense. And similar to those for finding, like, cat the food.
Those are the service signs, blue with white letters again. The manual says these point you to rest areas, gas stations, food, camping spots, hospitals. The practical stuff you need on a trip.
Very handy. Now, a really important color, especially driving around here, sometimes work area signs.
Oh, yeah. Orange. Orange signs with black letters or symbols. These scream construction or maintenance zone.
And Chapter 4 really focuses on these, right?
Absolutely. It highlights that speed limits can drop, like way down, sometimes even 25 miles per hour. And it says you must, no question, obey flag persons.
It's non-negotiable.
Totally. The manual even shows the hand signals they use for stop, proceed, slow. You do what they say in those zones, period.
Okay, orange means caution, slow down, look for instructions.
Yeah.
What about just knowing what road you're actually on?
Ah, the route signs. As the manual shows, these vary a lot. You've got the shield for interstate routes, different shapes for U.S. highways, state routes, county roads. Their shape itself is a clue to the type of road you're on. And obviously they're key for planning a trip or just following directions.
Pretty cool how much info is packed into just shape and color before you even squint at the words.
It really is a quick visual language.
Speaking of the words, let's dig into a couple of really crucial regulation signs the manual gives specific details on. First, the big one, the stop sign.
The red octagon. Can't miss it. And the manual is emphatic. This sign mandates a full stop, no rolling stops.
Right. And it's specific about where to stop, too, isn't it?
Very specific. You stop before the painted stop line on the road. If there isn't one, you stop before the crosswalk.
And if there's neither?
Then you stop at the point closest to the intersection where you can actually see the crossing traffic, but before you enter the intersection itself. And after that full stop, you yield to any vehicles or pedestrians already there. Only then can you go when it's safe.
So it's the stop location and then the yield. How's that different from a yield sign?
The yield sign, that red and white triangle, the manual says it requires you to slow down and be prepared to stop. You must yield the right of way.
So you don't always have to stop.
Not always, but you absolutely must stop if traffic conditions mean you need to let others go first. It's about slowing, assessing, yielding priority, and stopping if necessary. Stop signs are always stop first.
Okay, clear distinction. Stop means stop. Yield means yield, and maybe stop. The manual also shows a bunch of other regulation signs, right? The white ones for speed limits, lane use, turns, parking.
Yeah, all those specific rules. And it includes that universal no symbol, the red circle with a slash through it.
Oh, yes.
You see that over a picture of, say, a U-turn means no U-turns allowed. Simple, effective.
Globally understood. And back to the warning signs. The yellow diamonds you mentioned, they sometimes have another little sign below them.
Right. Sometimes there's a smaller yellow sign with black letters underneath, often showing a speed. That's a recommended speed sign.
Advisory, not mandatory.
Exactly. It's not the legal speed limit, but it's the speed suggested as safe for whatever the hazard is, like a sharp curve ahead. Probably good advice to follow.
Definitely sounds like it. Okay, so that covers the static language of signs. But traffic isn't static, it's always changing. That brings us to traffic signals, the lights.
Yep. The manual shows the standard setup, red, yellow, green, top to bottom or left to right. And mentions sometimes you just get single lights or arrows.
And Chapter 4 makes a really critical point about what to do if those lights stop working.
Oh, absolutely crucial. If the traffic signals are completely out or they're flashing weirdly, the manual says you treat that intersection like an all-way
Stop.
Everybody stops. Everybody comes to a full stop. Then you follow the normal right-of-way rules, usually yield to the right or whoever got there first, unless, of course, there's a traffic officer directing things. Their instructions override everything.
That's a huge safety rule. Good to have that clear.
Yeah.
Let's break down what the lights mean, according to Chapter 4. Steady red.
Steady red means stop. Don't enter the intersection. Full stop. The main exception the manual gives is if there's a green arrow showing at the same time as the red light.
Okay.
In that case, you can go, but only in the direction the arrow points and only if it's clear.
Gotcha. And what about turning on a steady red light? That gets complicated.
It does, and the manual lays out the rules pretty carefully. Generally, you can make a right turn on red, but only after coming to a complete stop and yielding to all crossing traffic and pedestrians.
Right turn, okay. What about left?
Left turn on red is much rarer. It's only allowed if you're turning from a one-way street onto another one-way street. Again, full stop and yield first.
But there are big exceptions, right? When you can't turn on red.
Oh yeah, lots of caveats. The manual lists them clearly. You can't turn on red if a sign says, "and no, turn on red."
Makes sense.
Or if any other sign, signal, or marking prohibits it. And here's a big one. In New York City, you generally cannot turn on red unless a sign specifically allows it. That's the opposite of most other places.
Wow, okay, that's a key regional difference.
And one more specific rule. School buses with students on board, they can never turn right on any red light.
That's a lot to remember just for a red light.
It really is. So flashing red must be simpler.
Yeah, that one's easier. Flashing red basically means the same thing as a stop sign.
Come to a full stop, yield, go unsafe.
Red arrow.
A red arrow is a definite no. The manual says you must not go in the direction of the arrow points. Wait until the red arrow goes off and you get a green light or green arrow. And importantly, you cannot make a turn on a red arrow, not even a right turn like you might on a regular red light.
Okay, red arrow means stop for that direction, period. Steady yellow.
Steady yellow is the warning. Light's about to turn red. The manual advises you to prepare to stop, if you can do so safely. Don't slam on the brakes if someone's right behind you, but start stopping if you can.
Makes sense. Flashing yellow.
Flashing yellow means proceed, but with caution. Be alert, slow down if needed, watch out for crossing traffic or hazards.
Got it. Yellow arrow.
Similar idea to the steady yellow, but for turns. A yellow arrow means the protected turn time the green arrow is ending. If you're planning to turn, get ready to stop.
Okay. Steady green. The goal.
Go. And the manual always adds this important condition. You must still yield the right-of-way as required by law. Green doesn't mean just barge through. Chapter 5 covers right-of-way. But basically, green means go if it's safe and you have the legal right to proceed.
So yield to pedestrians in the crosswalk. Yield to vehicles already in the intersection.
Exactly. Green is permission, not a command to ignore everything else.
And a green arrow.
You can go in the direction the arrow points, but again, the manual stresses you must still yield the right-of-way as required by law. The arrow gives you priority for that specific movement, but it doesn't give you the right to hit someone who legally has the right-of-way.
It's like layers of instruction, isn't it? The color, whether it's flashing, if it's an arrow, all giving very specific guidance.
It's a complex system designed to manage traffic flow safely at busy spots. Critical information delivered fast.
Yeah, really is. And beyond those intersection lights, the manual mentions Lane use control lights, too, the ones sometimes hanging over the lanes?
Right, often on highways, bridges, tunnels, they manage which lanes you can use. A steady red X over your lane. Do not drive in this lane. Get out.
Clear enough.
A steady yellow X means your lane is about to be closed or change direction. Move out of it safely and soon.
Okay.
A flashing yellow X. This one's specific. It means the lane can only be used for making a left turn.
Like a center turn lane.
Exactly. And finally, a green arrow pointing down means that lane is open. You can use it.
It's amazing how they can just instantly change the function of a whole lane of traffic with those.
Yeah, super useful for managing rush hour flow or directing traffic around incidents. Reversible lanes depend on them.
Okay, so we've done signs on the side, lights up above. What about the road itself? Pavement markings, another huge part of this driving language.
Huge. And the manual gives them a lot of attention. They do so much divide lanes, tell you when passing is okay, show you where turn lanes are, mark where to stop.
Let's start with the lines just marking the edges and separating lanes.
Okay, so solid lines along the side of the road mark the edge, the shoulder. The manual says crossing these is generally illegal unless you're authorized or directed to. If you see that edge line start angling in towards the center, that's a warning. Road's getting narrower.
Good heads up. And the lines between lanes.
Key distinction here. White lines separate traffic moving in the same direction. Yellow lines separate traffic moving in opposite directions. Remembering that basic color code is fundamental.
White, same way. Yellow, opposite way. Got it. How do those lines tell you about passing? The manual gets specific there.
Very specific, and it's all about safety.
Okay.
If you have one broken line between lanes, white or yellow, you can pass or change lanes across it if it's safe and you won't interfere with anyone.
Makes sense.
If you have a solid line next to a broken line, it depends which side you're on. If the solid line is on your side, you generally can't pass or cross it, except maybe to turn left into a driveway. If the broken line is on your side, you can pass if it's safe.
So check the line closest to you.
Exactly. Now, double solid lines, white or yellow. The manual says you cannot pass or change lanes across these, period. Generally, you can't cross them at all, except if you need to turn left to get into or out of the highway, like into a driveway, or maybe make a U-turn if it's allowed there, but no passing.
Okay, double solid means stay put. What about just a single solid line?
This one's a bit nuanced. The manual says you can pass or change lanes across a single solid line, but only if things like obstructions in the road or traffic conditions make it absolutely necessary. It's not meant for routine passing. It implies it's discouraged unless unavoidable.
So double solid is a hard no for passing. Broken is generally okay if safe, solid, and broken depends on your side, and single solid is only if you really have to.
That's a good summary.
Okay. What about markings showing where to stop?
That's your white stop line painted across the lane, or sometimes it's just the two parallel lines marking a crosswalk.
And where do you stop relative to them?
The manual is clear. When you have to stop for a sign, a light, an officer, or to yield to pedestrians or others in a crosswalk, marked or even unmarked, you stop before the stop line, if there is one. If not, stop before the crosswalk lines. Don't block the crossing area.
Right. The manual also mentions some stop lines seem painted way back from the intersection. Why is that?
Yeah, that's a practical detail. The manual explains those are set back further to give big vehicles, trucks, buses enough room to make turns without their back ends swinging into the lanes of waiting cars. So it's really important to stop before that setback line, not creep up towards the actual intersection corner. Give them space.
That makes total sense. Good tip. What about arrows painted on the pavement?
Those tell you what maneuvers are allowed or required from that specific lane. An arrow pointing left means you must turn left if you're in that lane. Straight arrow means you must go straight.
Can't change your mind at the last second.
Nope. The manual emphasizes you need to be in the correct lane before you reach the solid line that often separates those dedicated turn lanes from the 3 lanes. Once the arrow markings start or the line turns solid, you're committed.
Okay, and one more marking. That diamond symbol you sometimes see painted in a lane.
The diamond means it's a reserved lane. These are special lanes set aside for specific types of vehicles.
Like what?
Buses, HOV lanes, high occupancy vehicles, meaning carpools or van pools with a certain number of people, sometimes bikes, or other designated users. You can only legally use a diamond lane if your vehicle meets the requirement, like having enough people for HOV, and often only during specific posted hours.
And why do they have these? Just to be exclusive.
No. The manual explains it's about efficiency, moving more people in fewer vehicles, reducing congestion, giving priority to transit or high-priority vehicles. It does note one specific exception, though, for city streets. If there's a broken white line separating a regular lane from a diamond lane, vehicles that aren't normally allowed in the diamond lane can cross that broken line from the diamond lane to make a right turn at the next intersection.
Ah, okay, a specific allowance for turning.
Yeah. But generally, stay out unless you qualify.
It's wild how much information is literally written on the road surface. It's not just stay between the lines. It's this whole complex language about passing, turning, stopping.
Absolutely. Another whole layer of communication happening right under your wheels.
Okay, so we've covered signs, static rules, signals, dynamic commands, and markings, foundational guidance. But sometimes you need something or someone to override all of that. Traffic officers.
And here, the manual establishes a very clear hierarchy. Directions given by a traffic officer take precedence over everything else.
Everything.
Everything. Signs, signals, pavement markings. What the officer tells you to do is what you must do.
So, classic example, the light is green, but an officer is waving for you to stop. You stop.
You stop, no question. Conversely, if the light is red or there's a stop sign, but an officer is clearly signaling you to proceed, you obey the officer and go.
Why is that necessary? Why give a person that power over the system?
Because real life is messy. Crashes happen, power outages occur, there are parades, emergencies, sudden massive traffic jams, things the automated signals and static signs just can't account for in real time.
Right.
You need human judgment on the scene to manage the unexpected, maintain safety, and try to keep things moving as best as possible in unusual circumstances. The officer adapts.
And the manual specifies who has this authority.
Yes, it lists police officers, fire police, flag persons in highway work zones, as we mentioned, school crossing guards, and even school bus drivers in certain situations related to their bus.
So if someone in uniform is directing traffic, you follow their instructions above all else.
That's the rule.
Okay, wow. We've really dug deep into Chapter 4 here, covered the signs and the shapes and colors,
The different lights, arrows, flashing versus steady.
the lines on the road, what they mean for passing and turning.
And crucially, the ultimate authority of a traffic officer.
We went beyond just listing things, really tried to pull out the specifics, the exceptions, the whys from the manual. Understand this stuff, it's not just for passing a test, is it? It's about actually being able to read the road, anticipate, react properly.
Navigate safely and efficiently. It's your operational language out there.
Yeah. The manual itself often has questions, right? Like, think about what we discussed. What's the manual say is the typical color and shape of a warning sign?
Yellow dot.
Right. Or if you pull up to a red light and there are crosswalk lines painted, but no separate stop line, where exactly does Chapter 4 say you need to stop your vehicle?
Before the crosswalk lines, don't enter the crosswalk.
Exactly. These details matter. So here's something to think about as we wrap up. Consider how all these seemingly simple things, a color, a shape, a flashing light, a painted line, when you put them all together across the whole road network.
It creates this incredibly complex dynamic system.
Right. And it relies entirely on every single driver understanding their part, knowing this language, down to the details we found in Chapter 4. What do you think would happen if you took away just one piece of that system, or if people started ignoring just one type of sign or signal?
It probably wouldn't take much for things to get chaotic or dangerous pretty quickly. Makes you appreciate the system even with its flaws.
Definitely something to think about out there.